My name is Jenna Pilant, and I'm a style-crazed full-time creative living in sunny San Diego. In 2016, my husband and I purchased our forever home, and now, in between balancing my upholstery business, our 4 dogs, and just life in general, I'm going to renovate our home room by room, project by project myself, with some fun help from a few of my friends along the way. And I'm going to share it all with you right here on YouTube. So, are you ready to see a room bloom?
Progress over perfection, color loves. And that mantra has never rang truer than in today's new room bloom on YouTube. Last episode, I popped my concrete cherry by using it as a building medium for the first time ever. And they ultimately turned out. Okay, yeah. After pulling the molds away, I wasn't too thrilled with their initial appearance. Much rougher than I had imagined. But you see, that's the beauty with me being such a hands-on designer. We can only go up from here, y'all. Thus, I ordered myself a concrete grinder. And while I waited on that to be delivered, got to work on building that second set of stair molds, which basically required me to repeat the same steps, hardy har har har, and measurements from the last episode. I mean, there were subtle differences here and there. For example, there was this weird opening to the house's crawl space that I discovered during demo, and it needed to be covered. So using a piece of hobby board I had on hand, I cut the board a little bigger than the hole's measurements, and then nail gunned it into place. There were also many more cuts into the melamine than the first time around, as I was building around the former waterfall walls catch-all. Now, if any of this has you feeling lost, I highly recommend subscribing to Room Bloom on YouTube and going back a couple of episodes to catch up. That way, everything I'm talking about here on out with the Atomic Atrium project will make sense. But even with the additional cuts, I made such great progress the first day, almost building one entire side of the stairway's molds. But then the next morning, I suddenly remembered why I had initially proposed that the stairs be straight across from each other. I really did not want to cut into those cinder blocks.
Well, Cash, looks like we're gonna go rent a concrete cutter.
So back to my home away from home, the Home Depot I went.
All right, let's go to Home Depot.
Which is about a good 35-minute drive from our home. Hour 10 round trip. But I don't mind as long as I got good music. At the Home Depot, I needed to rent both a demolition hammer and a concrete cutter, which I had never used before. I also needed more renovation supplies. That also included more melamine for the concrete molds, which a Home Depot employee graciously cut down for me so I could fit them in the back of my car. Once back home, I went straight to the Palma Valley wood shop to cut down my new melamine boards for the remainder of my stairs molds. I also tried my hand at cutting those cinder blocks. Dang, that thing was so squirrely. I attempted to make cuts a couple of times, but was ultimately like, nope.
Well, like I said last week, there's a first time for everything, color lovers, because this is the first time I have ever run into something construction-wise where I don't feel comfortable. I mean, I cut a pretty straight line, but this thing is very squirrely. I don't feel like I have enough control on it. It's, you know, nothing to do with the Home Depot. It's not their fault. I just personally had to go with the smallest cement cutter and, you know, olive oil over here. And I don't feel comfortable. And no home renovation project is worth losing some digits or a limb over. So I'm gonna call my pal Renee Jackson. He specializes in cement cutting, and I'm gonna see if he can squeeze us into the schedule.
And in 2 days' time, my pal Renee did just that, squeezed the Atomic Atrium project into his schedule. And I am so beyond thankful he did. Renee is built almost exactly like my baby brother, so it's no wonder as to why he was able to better handle the power tool than I. So Renee cut while I wet-backed. He also helped me get a little more comfortable with the tool itself as well. But holy cannoli, just making those few cuts made my twig so dang tired. I think cutting concrete is one task I'll leave up to the professionals. After Renee saved the day with his concrete cutting, I busted out that rented Home Depot demolition hammer to break away the remaining concrete, which took hardly no time whatsoever, leaving only a few steps to build and seal the next day. I also had to do some rerouting of the atrium's original electrical
Hot wire.
which is something I know how to do but usually don't do. But since my electrician couldn't get to us for the time being, a doer's gotta do what a doer's gotta do. That way I was more than ready to get to pouring and mixing that second set of stairs. And crazily enough, the husband wanted to help again with the back-breaking work. I think he loves me, because I told him that he did not have to help, and he's like, please, be quiet, I'm helping. Brat wouldn't even allow me to carry in the 42 bags of Quikrete 5000 like I did last time. A true gentleman. And we were so feeling ourselves with this second pour. It went so dang well. Such a different energy than the first time around, which is why I am such an advocate for learning by doing. We learned so dang much with the first pour. Oh, what am I even saying? We even learned more with the second pour. Can you imagine how we'll feel about building with concrete after this entire project is done? I am getting such a feel for this medium as well. How it mixes, how it pours, how it lays. There's a fine finesse with concrete that I never realized these tradies possessed, and I am so impressed with their craftsmanship. Mad respect, because it is so dang hard. Whew. And then while the second set of stairs cured for 48 hours, I got to grinding that first set of stairs smooth, which I had also never done before, but felt confident doing anyway. And luckily for all of us, this concrete grinder was exactly what I needed to fix this undesirable look. I mean, is it just me, or is this concrete starting to look like terrazzo? I seriously feel like I'm winning at life right now. The concrete grinding was also the perfect distraction for me and my worry-wart mind, as the other concrete steps cured. I was sure they would be better than the first set of stairs, but by how much? Well, like Grandma Margaret always used to say, I must be living right and paying the preacher, because we definitely made some progress on pouring the second set of stairs. So much smoother and professional looking than the first. And I haven't even grinded these babies down yet. The Atomic Atrium project is gaining such momentum, y'all. So much so, as soon as I finished vacuuming up this second set's messes, I got to building the fourth ledge of our sunken conversation pit. This is where the atrium's original waterfall wall sat, and is why I have to somewhat rebuild this particular side's ledge. Ultimately, tile was set on top of this section, but since this side is already based in concrete, I just decided to stick with the same medium. Thus, the quick mold build. It will also hopefully be an easier pour, since we can mix from above and pour straight into this area. Only time will tell. Which brings me to our floor plan for the sunken living room, which has gone through many different versions. For example, the stairs originally were located in the dead center of the space, but we decided that just ate up too much square footage. There is just so much to consider when designing any new space. Please don't be afraid to thoroughly discuss all options, as it will ultimately give you a better design in the end. And this is what we have personally landed on. What do you think? If you're delighted by what you see, please smash that like button. For us, this particular layout gave us lots of seating while still allowing ample space for movement. You can also access the pit from either side of the house, which is so nice. Yay. And just wait until you see all of this concrete furniture built. I am hoping to have it all done and ready for y'all by next episode, so we can finally start talking about upholstery, adding color, etc. Slowly but surely, it's all coming together. So exciting! Stay tuned.